Well, hello there, my fellow rushers. How are you doing today? King Rexy here, and today we're continuing on with yet another hero design. This one is gonna be pretty short, but I think I'm gonna give it a go because my man Vaznan, or Trevorian as he's been currently renamed himself, he wanted me to make a review on one of his older hero designs that I ended up reviewing a while ago. He made a rework, and I decided to check it out. So here it is. We have the lore of Trevorian, the Dark Templar, made by Veznan, who is now Trevorian himself because magic, I guess. Alright, so here's a little bit of lore, so if you want to, you can read it up, check it out, if you're interested and you want to see how this guy came to be. It's short but interesting, I would say. But we're not here for the lore. I used to read the lore back in back in the day, but as of right now, I don't want to read the lore in the video because it's gonna make the video way too long. So yeah, as you can see, it's a pretty short one, so let's get right through it, through his statistics. So we have 1500 HP, which is already a very high amount. I mean, the highest amount that any champion had is probably Jigo and Graw. They have like, what, 900 HP? This guy has 50% more than that. Well, that's insane. 15 to 70 physical damage. Now, even though there's no attack speed indicator, I think he ended up DMing me about it, and he said it was 1.5 seconds, so basically he deals about 28 damage per second, which 28 physical damage per second is kind of short, kind of small amount, but don't worry. Even though he has kind of low damage output, his abilities more than make up for his kind of meh attacks. Immune to physical damage and has 50% magic resistance. Well, that's making him basically kind of immortal. You can kill him with physical damage. And if you do magic damage to him, he takes 50% less. Well, that's pretty strong. And combining that with the 1500 HP bonus, this guy is going to be insanely difficult to kill. I mean, think about it. Only enemies that deal like true damage are going to be dealing some damage to him. Or enemies who have like high magic damage output. Like the Anurian, what were they called? The big fat orange frogs that levitate and have 3 purple balls above them. I don't remember their name, but those guys can probably chunk him. But I can't think of any other enemies that can do some solid damage to him. I mean, imagine if you put him against a Demolisher. Demolishers do physical damage. This guy can pretty much stall a Durian Demolisher for an eternity. I'm sure he's not gonna kill him because 15 to 70 physical damage on 1.5 seconds attack rate is very small, but still, you can pretty much stall an enemy that deals physical damage for forever with this guy. That's pretty OP. and don't get me wrong, he gets even better. Look at that. Passive ability, Abdicator. When taking little damage, basically when he dies from an attack, he becomes invincible for 10 seconds with 2 times the damage, and then dies. When the effect ends, all nearby allies heal 20% of HP every second. Okay, that's kind of interesting. So basically he turns Berserker, and he starts for 10 seconds and he deals twice as much damage. So he deals like 56 damage per second, which is a little bit better. Definitely better than 28, but still. It's still physical damage, it's not like true damage or anything. However, I don't really get that heal part. 20% of HP every second. How long does it last for? I guess the barrack units regenerate 20% of their max of their HP every second. And how long does this last for? I don't know. Sometimes that's what I don't get about some of these hero designs. People sometimes leave unimportant information. Like, how long does this thing last for? Is it like for a limited amount of time, or is it like some sort of like effect that lasts for like forever? I don't know. I would assume it lasts for like a few seconds before it ends up running out. Because let's be honest, if they regenerate 20% of their HP every second, they will be basically immortal. Anyway, moving on to Healing Light ability. Heals 25% of his HP instantly, 60 seconds cooldown. Well, that makes him even harder to kill. 25% of his HP just like that, popping up, it's awesome. However, 60 seconds cooldown is quite a long time. Basically, you get 25% of your HP every minute. But think about it, you're immune to physical damage and you take 50% reduced magic damage, so it's gonna be pretty hard for people to chunk him. And if he gets like severely low, you can always retreat him and, you know, he can just heal back naturally, because every hero heals, right? Moving on to Divine Protection ability. Gives all Dark Knights 30% magic resistance. I like that. I love the Dark Knights as a tower, so giving them 30% magic resistance is pretty nice. Now they're gonna be a little bit more resistant to magic resistance. Resistant to magic resistance, I can't speak today. They're gonna be more they're gonna resist more magic damage because of the magic resistance. That's good. Shield of Pain ability. Makes Trevorian and all nearby allies invincible to ranged attacks. Well, that's pretty OP in and of itself. You basically have a choke point that cannot be affected by ranged attacks. That's gonna be very strong. Especially against, like, Griffin Bombardiers, what else? Musketeers, what were these things called? Ice Witches, you know, stuff like that. It's not gonna be able to affect your choke point, as long as Trevorian is near it. That's pretty good. Wooden Blade ability. 33% chance of dealing true damage instead of physical, 1 in 3 attacks. Well, that's very good. It's basically kind of like Kaz Blood Axe, but instead of this ability, this ability has a 33% chance, so basically every third attack has a potential of dealing true damage, at least in theory. With Kaz, it's like every 10th attack or so, which is really sad. I think his Blood Axe ability used to proc every, like, 5th, maybe like 4th attack, something like that. He had like 20 or 25% chance to proc it, which was insane because he deals like, what was it, quadruple true damage, which is insane. I mean, he can do like over 200 true damage with wall auto attack. This guy, he doesn't get like damage amplifier, he just turns the damage type from physical to true damage, which still, 28 true damage may not be that much, but still. Dealing a little bit of true damage always helps. There's no such thing as bad damage output. Horrifying Blow. Charges forward up the road, striking the enemies in his way with 2 basic attacks that deal double damage. 30 seconds cooldown. So basically deal about a little bit over 100 physical damage in a straight line, and you affect enemies that are on the path. Cool. It's pretty nice. I mean, 100 physical damage, you're probably not gonna kill anyone, but still. You're gonna do some damage. I don't know why 30 seconds cooldown though. I feel like that's a little bit too long. I would imagine that it's like kind of a short dash. So, I don't know. 30 seconds just doesn't fit quite right. I would say 20 seconds would have been a little bit better. But I haven't made this hero, so I can't complain. And now, last but not least, his ultimate ability, Terror. Makes all enemies run away for 6 seconds while giving all enemies 3 times the speed and removing all of their armor. 60 seconds cooldown. Alright, that's very cool ultimate. It's basically like Beerusat's Fear the Dragon ability, where you fear enemies in a certain area and they run away with like, I think they ran with like 2 times the movement speed. Now, this thing makes them run 3 times as fast, and it's global, so every enemy on the screen just runs backwards, and you remove their armor for 6 seconds, which is very good. It doesn't remove magic resistance, as I see, because magic resistance here is not included, so enemies who have magic resistance obviously are not going to be affected by the debuff, but they're still going to be running away, and I mean, that sounds very OP. If you're getting severely overwhelmed, you can just fear everyone and they're going to run right back to the start. That's basically like a reset. It kind of reminds me of a champion's ultimate in League of Legends. I think his name was Echo. His ultimate basically make it so that you can rewind time and return back to like 4 seconds, 4 seconds in the past, which is pretty darn cool. I mean, it's OP in game, but it's a cool idea. This thing is kind of like this. You basically reset the enemies. So yeah, I like that. Overall, pretty cool design. Definitely on the OP side, but there are some balanced abilities here and there. Like, Divine Protection is pretty cool. I like that. And the Horrifying Blow is pretty interesting. The Wooden Blade is pretty reasonable. I mean, sure, his base stats are OP. The Abdicator seems pretty darn good because you basically get 10 seconds worth of extra life with 2 times the damage output, plus a massive heal to your nearby allies. The Healing Light, I'm not sure what to think of this ability. It's kind of OP, but not really. Like, the heal amount is great, but because it has such a long cooldown, I don't think it's gonna be that usable. So it's just kinda there. The ultimate ability, I don't know if it's OP, but just like the base stats alone make this guy OP, because even though he doesn't have the greatest damage output, he has an insane amount of durability. That's what I'm gonna say. This guy is basically a very high utility tank that can do some damage and boost up your allies. You get whenever he dies, he heals them up by 20% or so. He gives every Dark Knight 30% magic resistance, protects everyone in a choke point from ranged attacks. Like, that's pretty darn strong. And the ultimate makes everyone run backwards with 3 times the speed, so if you mess up big time, you just press your ultimate and boom. You pretty much reset the wave as to right at the start. That's pretty cool. I love that. Much better than the original one. Good job, Trevorian. You did a pretty nice you did it pretty nice here. I like it. Good job. And yeah, guys. Well, with that out of the way, that's gonna do it for the video. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I appreciate you for sticking around to the end. Subscribe if you want to see more of this content in the future. And while you're at it, drop a like on the video. It means a lot to me. And yeah, I need to check my Discord because I'm not sure if you heard it, but I got a couple of pings, so probably someone DM'd me. And yeah, I gotta attend to it. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Until it comes, that was King Rexy, over and out.